Hello, strong people. Week 1, day 1 of, this is a combination prep. So I'm actually prepping for 2 shows at the same time. Very, very similar events. I am doing Battle at the Bridge, Strongman Corporation Regionals. And I'm also doing the Olympics, not Olympic City, All-American Pro-Am. Regionals is July 19th, I think. And then the Pro-Am is August 23rd, I think. So, I warmed up a little bit. It's kind of warm out. I'm sweating. So that's why I'm out of breath. I got out here a little bit late because I was in a business meeting. But just to kind of summarize what the events are at the shows. Regionals is a max axle press, a frame deadlift for reps, a yoke run, arm over arm, and a max distance sandbag carry. The events at the Pro-Am, max log press, side handle car deadlift, max distance sandbag carry, different weight, Rogue power pin hold, just a grip event like the wrecking ball hold if you've seen that. And then sandbag toss. Not too keen on the bag toss and the Rogue power pin hold, but I don't get to choose the events. I just get to do them. So we'll train for them. But we're doing both shows. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me. We'll see. I don't want to talk too much here because I do want to get going, but we are pressing today, as usual, for day 1 of the week. We're kind of switching back and forth between axle and log. I might even have log strict press after this. I think I do. But we have axle today to start. So we got axle, I think it's like 245 for 5, 275, 285 for 5, and 325 for 5 plus. So we got a bunch of 5s today. I'm going to go finish getting warmed up. And this is I messed around with the axle, like, I think I put on like 228 or 248 or something a couple days ago, just to play around with it because I haven't touched an axle for a press in a while. I messed around with it after OSG, but that was about it. So I'm excited to be back training that, especially for a max. I haven't had a max since 2022 Nats, I think. My first nationals, I hit 377 there. So 3 years later, how much do you think I can put on my axle press? That's enough talking. Let's just get warmed up. I'm excited to press. Sweating. For first real session back on the axle, that was all right. I've hit 350-ish, 355, somewhere around there. for 5 before. So to be able to get the sweat off my nose. So starting a prep out at 328 for a pretty easy 5. My issue when it comes to reps on the axle is my hands and wrists start hurting so bad. They go to sleep and they just hurt. I just need to push through it. Like that's all there is to it. It's not like there's some magic trick or anything. It's just having them bent back like that. That's not my, mobility is not my specialty when it comes to that. Plus, I've been doing log for quite a while now, so I haven't had the need to have that wrist flexibility, mobility. So it'll come back as I keep, doing axle each week. But so like the strength is there. Like the weight didn't feel heavy. Everything kind of felt almost the same in a way. The clean is going to be the hard part. So I say this every time, and it hasn't been true yet. I say if I can clean it, I can press it. But I have cleaned 400 pounds on this several times, and I've never once pressed it after cleaning it. I pressed it out of the rack, but I have never cleaned and pressed 400 pounds on an axle. So, annoying, but whatever. Hopefully I can change that. But as far as overall feel, I'm wearing a different pair of shoes today. I'm wearing these barefoots. I messed around with them on deadlifts the other day whenever I was just having fun, my last session before starting prep. They felt good. I wasn't sure if I'd like them for press. I don't know yet. They don't feel much different than my Converse. So, I don't know. They didn't feel bad. Yeah, not really much to say about that. But the presses felt easy. I don't know. I'm talking too much. I don't really know what else to say because it felt good. It's first week, first day back doing it. So, it feeling good and then that weight moving that easily, those are two good signs to start. So, hopefully we can keep that momentum going. I thought that was my parents for a second rolling up. But now I have 3 sets of 8 strict press log, 1 clean and press away. So I don't know if he's switching these around because it's me, because I mentioned it and I made some valid points about having strict press after, or if I don't know. But strict press is next. In a lot of the preps before, it's been first, and then the push press has been second. So now we're kind of taking out, we're flipping them basically. So, well, not basically, that's exactly what we're doing. So let's do some log strict press. Yukon bar in the rack right there, and I just smacked my head off of it so hard, making sure I'm not bleeding. Oh my God. All right, 4 sets of 10 wide grip, neutral grip lat pull downs. Ugh. Those are probably supposed to be paused. I'll tell you right now, strict press being second after push press, that's killer. That crushed me. My shoulders are so stupid pumped up. That was only 260 for those last 2 sets of 8, and they were tough. I've hit like 3 whatever, somewhere in the low 3s for I think 7 reps strict. That kicked my butt. Also, it's tough. It's tough going from axle to log in the same workout. It's just the position is pretty different. You know, it's this versus this. It's the shoulders feel it. My elbow, that first set of, my elbow feels a little weird, but that first set of axle, like at 248, it was like the first or second press, it came back down, and I heard like a pop, not a pop, just like a crack, like you cracked your knuckles or something. That's what it felt like. And it was a little bit funky feeling, but it's just, it is what it is. I probably should have done a little bit more mobility work before doing axle because it does take me a little bit to get into that position, especially after I haven't done it for a while. So they're both uncomfortable in their own way. Log is uncomfortable because that weight is sitting right here. Feels like it's crushing you a little bit, especially for the lighter guys. And then axle is a little bit difficult because it's more of a front rack position, which I just don't have the greatest mobility for. So, not mad about it. I think as I get more comfortable with the axle, things are going to feel better, which is generally how things go. But as day 1, back doing strict press after push press, big fan. In like the worst kind of way. I hated every second of that, but felt good. I should have gone lighter on these. Oh God, slipped. I was rubbing my head with this hand, it's all sweaty. I gotta do arm over arm today, speed work. That sucks. I've never really had like a moving event style thing the day of, like the first day of the week. It's always day 4. So that'll be interesting. Ugh. I'm tired. I was kind of tired today in general. I didn't get to bed all that early last night. Like 12:30, which is pretty late for me. Not a huge deal. But it can affect things for sure. I mean, sleep is huge. My sleep is still so much better than it was, though. I had to follow up with my doctor this morning because it's required for insurance and the CPAP, sleep machine, whatever else. I was straight up like, this is life-changing. Like, this is ridiculous how much better it is. So she was pretty happy about that. But yeah, get your sleep checked. If you're tired all the time, do it. Life changing. Because the more I think about it, I used to nap like all the time. All the time. I'd sleep for hours and just keep sleeping. I'd sleep for 12 hours, not feel great the next day, always. So maybe I've had this issue all my life. I don't know. But we're at, oh God, screw just came out of the other side. Oh well. But we're actively working on it, so that's cool. All right. I'm struggling. There was a Pro-Am this Saturday, probably about an hour from my house down in Pittsburgh, PA. There was like nobody signed up for it. It was what I was talking about earlier whenever I was deciding whether or not to do the United States Strongman Pro-Am, or the Iron Grizzly show that I did 2 weeks ago. Or a week ago now, I guess. Yeah, a week ago. And I went with Iron Grizzly because more competition. Like I said, there's like nobody signed up for this USS show. I actually tried to sign up for it Sunday, the day after Iron Grizzly. I'll be honest, it was for the money. Like, it's a USS show, Pro-Am. They pay out like $500 to the winner. I don't know if that's based on number of participants or if that's just like that's what it is. I have no idea, but I was gonna do it. Like, if they're gonna pay me that money just to show up because I'd be the only one in my class, why not do it? Because like I'd have to pay for the membership, I'd have to pay for getting into the show, and I'm not going to do all that if I'm not getting something out of it, because there's no point in doing it if I'm the only one doing it, unless you're paying me something. So I was going to do it. I tried to. I reached out to the promoter, and they're like, you should probably ask the promoter. And I'm like, but you're the promoter. And they're like, oh, is this for the one like this weekend? I'm like, yeah, it's the only Pro-Am you're putting on, I'm pretty sure. And they were like, oh, registration closed for that like 3 weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, but there's nobody registered. And they were just like, okay. I was like, okay. Okay, I figured they'd want to throw another body in there just because, but I guess not, so. Wasn't that great of a turnout to my knowledge. This kid I competed with whatever you want to say, he pressed a 405 axle yesterday, set like the 308 USS record, 405 pounds overhead. He's got a really nice split jerk. I think I would have liked to do that, but I just wasn't ready to put up anything that heavy at that point in time. And I don't really care about like Strongman Corp records or USS records, national, whatever. The only records I care about, I'm not saying I'm going to get these, I'm just saying the ones I care about. Probably the American deadlift record, the world record deadlift, and then the two presses, log and axle, both American and world records. Like all across the board. I don't care about what federation it was in or whatever. I care about the number. Pretty sure Lucas Hatton has the record for the axle. 440 pounds. He pressed it in Nats in 2022. I don't know for sure if that's right, but I know he pressed it. I just don't know whether or not that's the record. So And the log is Bobby Thompson still has the log record. I actually thought about buying the log he did that record on. I know the guy who has it. I wouldn't even know what to do with it. That thing's like 10 feet long. It's like a massive Slater log. But I would love to have it. All right, one more set. I'm struggling. I don't know if I'll be able to pause this set, but I'll do what I can. All right, pause. Push the bag a little bit. Oh, God. That felt like a really long session, but like I didn't get out of here till after 6. That was pretty efficient, actually. I'm pretty happy with that. Fixed the bags there, or the bags. Well, yeah. I fixed the arm over arm there at the, that truck has like 10 feet of boards hanging out the back. Interesting. Anyway, I fixed the bags and whatever else on arm over arm there at the end, so they didn't move. I wasn't reaching far enough on the one that I recorded there for you guys. But the bag was moving. It was kind of messed up. So the next sets were better. So I'm pretty happy with that. Not much else to complain. I actually have one more set to do on that, so I'll do that next. But I wanted to check in and check out, I guess, because that's where I'm calling the video. So I was checking rules and stuff too, because every show is a little bit different usually. Like specifically the yoke. It's a 70-foot yoke, which is the longest I've done. I don't think I've done down and back yoke. Have I? I don't remember. Either way, this one, it's Josh down at 580 does this a lot, where you got to start behind the line. The time goes, and then you run into the yoke, get set, and run. It's an added element. I messed it up before, so I got to train it. I got to train that start like that, because it is harder, you know. It's light enough that I should be able to pick and go, but I felt that same way whenever I messed it up like 3 years ago, and I still just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was. Still have not forgiven myself, and I never will. That's how it goes when I make really big mistakes in shows. I remember it heavily, and I try my best to fix it going forward. So that was a pretty good first full training session back. I don't want to say I didn't slack off. I mean, it depends how you look at it. I definitely didn't train the way I normally train last week, the week after a show. It was a bunch of just heavy stuff, messing around, having some fun. And I'm feeling it a little bit. I'm a little bit gassed, but that's okay. That was a really good workout. I'm going to do this last set here in a second, but World's Strongest Man is also this weekend. Well, Thursday it starts, I think. It's pretty cool knowing that I've competed against 3 guys that are there. 4 guys if you count one of the reserves. That's insane. I don't even know what to say about that. Now, beating them is one thing. Obviously, they've gotten a lot better. And I have too, but probably not to the degree they have. And that's no fault but my own. So, we're going to do what we can, get better every year. They're all a little bit older than I am, I think. 1 or 2. I'm like 1 or 2 years behind them, I think. A lot can be done in a year or two. But I'm excited to watch them go. Specifically, the new guys. Like Bryce Johnson, Nick Gardione, Hatton, who doesn't feel like a new guy, but he is a new guy there. I just like watching the Americans go. Tim Buck, he was a victim of the cutting it down. It used to be 30 guys. It's 25 this year. He was definitely a victim of the of that. You know, if there was 5 more spots, I think he's in. He's in absolutely. He actually tied with Bryce at OSG, so I think Bryce beat him on stones. I could be wrong about that, but that's probably why Bryce ended up there and he didn't, which sucks. Bryce and Nick also got their Giants Live invites out, so I think Bryce is going to deadlifts. I don't know which one Nick is doing. I forget. But I'm waiting for them to announce Tim Bucks. I'd like to see him at the log one if Nick isn't already at the one. I don't know if they do the same thing or what, but I think that'd be a good show for him. We'll see. Got a little off topic. Well, it's strongman. It's not off topic. All right. Before I cool down too much, I'm going to do my last sit on this arm over arm, and we'll call it a day. So until next time, go out, get strong, stay strong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.